If you have mapped a cemetery, you likely know about using ropes to make a grid. Watching how a big square is laid off with measuring tapes and geometry, and seeing some volunteers struggle in the cold trying to figure out the hypotenuse of a right-angled triangle, I thought maybe there could be a quicker way of doing this, especially if you're by yourself. I made myself a permanent right triangle and a long piece to complete my square. Now I'll never have to measure again. I marked off two 50-foot pieces of flat line or pull tape and a third piece 70 feet, 8.5 inches long. I think you could also use paracord or rope. They all have some flex. With all of these pieces, if you're off a hair, it's not going to make too much difference in even the largest cemetery when you're all done. This isn't for real estate or court purposes anyway. Moderately snug up your lines and then snip them. Hand or machine sew some rings on. You'll need 3. I connected all of the rings and the rope pieces for a permanent right triangle. But what about making it a square? Take 2 more pieces, 50 feet long, and 3 more rings. Connect both pieces with a ring and put a ring at each end. Now you won't need to have a tape measure again for the square. But I did mark off 10-foot increments all the way around the square and cut 8 more pieces with a ring on each end so I could make a grid. By the way, I think a Sharpie might be better for marking, or maybe some colored tape. I used paint and it didn't seem to work out all that well. I made a few reels to keep my newly made lines on. It maybe wasn't all that cost effective. I could have picked up something at the big box store or Amazon and saved some time and money, but it was fun. Let's see how fast it is for one person to do a square. Now for the completed grid. If you're planning on doing a small area, this might not be worth your time, but I do think it's a time saver if you're planning on doing a large area or multiple cemeteries. Something I think is more efficient is using modern technology. It's the method I plan on using most often. Be sure to catch my video on grave mapping with GNSS. Thanks for watching.